In this Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree video, we're going to be going over a few tips on how to beat Metyr, Mother of Fingers. You can find Metyr in the Finger Ruins of Myr after you progress Count Ymir's questline. Once you get to a certain point in the questline, Count Ymir will disappear from the throne, and you can interact with it to unveil a secret ladder leading to the Finger Ruins. For this boss, you don't get any NPC summons, and it has another phase once you reach 50%. From what I've read, this is either going to be a really easy or really hard fight depending on your build. If it's too hard, don't be afraid to leave it until you get more Erdtree fragments. I recommend doing it at around level 14. It's very weak to Hemorrhage and Frostbite and has relatively simple combos. However, the combos are kind of hard to dodge. The weird bloody massive fingers at the front of this boss is its weak point, and you deal extra damage when you hit her there. At the very start of the fight, after you're teleported into the boss arena, Metyr will either shoot a very fast ranged laser beam at you or just walk towards you and do one of its combos. The first basic combo and the most common one in my experience is to do a head slam, then jump up to 2 more times to do 2 more head slams. The way I approach this is to stay away from the initial landing and dodge at the exact moment you can see the body reach the ground. Sometimes she only does this jump once after the initial head slam, so make sure to react to that to make sure you get your opening of damage before she does her next attack. When you're too close to her, she can also do a quick forward attack with her 2 front fingers. This can lead into other attacks like the super delayed drop attack, so don't attack right after you dodge this and wait to see what it does. For the delayed attack, there's about a 3-second delay before she drops down, and there's a small shockwave AoE, so make sure you go a little farther away if you're just planning on running away from it. If you can dodge this though, you can definitely get some good damage in. Next up, she has 2 basic combos that she does with her hands when you're close to her. In the first one, it will slam down both hands in quick succession, then after a slight delay, clasp both hands together and slam the balled fist down 2 times in quick succession. However, sometimes after a slight delay, she can also do a third attack with that balled fist, so make sure you don't immediately attack after the first 2. For her second basic combo, she'll do 2 quick sweeps with her hands and then often does a side finger push attack afterwards. I recommend just dodging backwards for the 2 quick sweeps or just dodging 2 times in succession and then dodging backwards for the side finger push. On that note, it also has another move with its fingers where it will crawl towards you. For this attack, I recommend just spam rolling backwards. Moving on, when she reaches into the massive fingers, she will either spawn tiny hands or do a quick worm splash into a jumping crash attack. You should dodge quickly to avoid the worm she pulls out, and then dodge again after a slight delay after it lands on top of you. Sometimes she will also do this ranged laser sweep attack after she lands, which you will want to dodge into the right for while trying to get close to her to do damage to the weak point. If she instead spawned the hands, you can pretty easily kill them with ranged attacks or just one-shotting them with melee. Moving on to phase 2, she'll usually start at around 50%, and will always begin with her spawning in the black hole on her tail. This move will do 2 small AoEs around her and then a huge AoE that's pretty hard to run away from. Try to run away from the first 2 AoEs and then dodge into the last explosion to avoid damage. I found it really hard to get the timing for that last explosion, but the way I figured it out was to dodge at the exact moment she raises her hands. In this phase, her ranged laser attack now charges for longer and does 3 attacks in quick succession. This is easy to just spam dodge if you're far away, but if you're close, you may have to tank 1 hit or try to get even closer so that she can't hit you. Her basic moves haven't changed, but she does have a few new special moves. For her first special move, she'll raise her black hole tail and summon explosives beneath you. These explosives can explode on contact and will explode after a set amount of time. The best way to avoid this attack is to just run to her left or right, as she only spawns them in the area you were standing in. Make sure you avoid the explosives as you're running though, as they can still hit you while they're spawning. For the second special move, its head will glow and she'll thrust it into the floor. The floor will start glowing pink, and after a delay, she does a huge AoE in a cone shape from her head. Try to get as close as possible when she does this and then just stand next to her and do some damage. If you're too far away, there will be some spots in the AoE where it doesn't do damage as well, so if you're ranged, you have that option. Her third special move, and probably one of the hardest to dodge, is when she rises in the air and does the helicopter. It will fall on top of you after a long delay. It's really hard to time this properly, but if you dodge to the left with really good timing, you can avoid taking any damage. If you're not confident in your timing though, you can run away from it. For the fourth and last special move, she'll rise into the air and do a huge AoE. And then she'll shoot out lasers from the black hole across the arena while maintaining that AoE damage. From my experience, the first laser that goes into you is either incredibly difficult to dodge or just impossible. I tried running in between the AoE and the laser, running away from the laser, and dodging into it, and none of it seemed to work. The second laser, however, you can easily avoid by going in between the laser and her circular AoE. If you guys find any ways to dodge this first laser, I'll add it to the pinned comment in the comment section. Luckily, she doesn't do this attack super often, and if you do enough damage, you can definitely kill her before she does this.